this program, we just thought it was the greatest thing, that the greatest news we could possibly have heard.
Judith, why don't you explain what happened when the physical therapy became available and what kind of difference it made in your life?
Well, once I did get the physical therapy, they were able to come out, and I'd be able to have it on a scheduled time, so that this way, when I could plan on resting afterwards. But during the therapy time, they would be exercising my hands and my legs. My legs are very spastic, and they needed the stretch so that I'd be able to function best I could. And as far as the other physical therapy, my torso was getting weak, and I needed strengthening in that area. And my hands, as Bob had said, were getting bad because, again, not getting any resistance or any kind of therapy, and the spasms were getting a little bit worse. So that this way I did need physical therapy, and I didn't need maintenance, so that Bob or one of my health aides were not, as much as they wanted to help me, they could not provide the right amount of therapy that was needed at that particular time. So in the last year, if you had seen a picture of me a year and a half ago and 6 months, and a year ago, you would see that all of a sudden even my balance was much better. A year and a half ago, I was drooped much more to the side. And as of last year, I think, it's much more that I can sit average again, and so that it doesn't look as awkward to people that, that it's progressing the way it has been.
Why don't you talk a little bit about how other people's observations in terms of the improvement it's made in your life?
Well, it's made a big difference for my health aides, because of the fact that this way in the morning they just help do range of motion, and then when we get up, I don't need a lot of their help, in case I have difficulty with eating. I don't anymore, so that they don't have to stay right on top of me in case I might spill something or something on that idea. I'm able to have company over and be able to eat, not have to worry about anybody feeling awkward or looking in a different direction if I'm going to put a spoon or fork to my mouth, because they don't want to make you feel uncomfortable. It's just, again, it's given me back a little bit of dignity to be able to say that I am able to do these things that were there before, but it just, because of lack of therapy, had started to disintegrate and just needed to be brought back again. So I'm thrilled that it's available, and I was just so grateful that I found this way of getting it back.
Pausing. Bob, why don't you talk a little bit about the peace of mind with the home health aide providing all the services, and how it fits into your work schedule, and what we talked about in the kitchen a little bit.
Well, it's necessary that I work, obviously, as thousands of other people out there. And the fact that I can have a home health aide come in and take care of Judy in the morning is just a tremendous peace of mind for me. When I know that when I leave the house in the morning, that Judy's going to be taken care of. There was a time before we had health aides when I would have to get up early and get Judy ready as best I could, and then worry that all day long she'd be pretty much on her own. I would get her set up in a chair, but that she was then, it's the difference between living a full life or just existing. This way, with the health aides, she's able to, one, feel that she has been properly and hygienically taken care of in the morning. She has someone other than me to talk to, someone who is a little more interested perhaps in coordinating her clothes and being able to do a better job with her hair, and all those little social touches that make you feel a little more comfortable when you go out to present yourself to the public. And
Can you talk about what you were talking about in the kitchen is about when you come home and the separate lives, individual lives
Okay.
you do that.
Because Judy's able to get ready in the morning and feel good about herself and be properly taken care of, she's able to also get out of the house because of the home health aides, and this allows her to have her own life. It's not that she's an extension of me or has to live her life
Okay,
through.
wait, I want to stop you before you get into
Yeah.
this. We don't want to talk about
Oh,
her getting
yes,
out of the
yeah.
house, but, sorry, guys.
Can I also make,
On the
Okay. Well, give me the gist of what it was again. Good. I'm sorry.
The separate lives and independent lives,
Okay,
so that you
right,
can come
okay.
together.
Okay. And Judy and I knew that, early on, if our lives are going to be interesting, that it would be best if we, instead of leading one life, if we each had our own life, and then at the end of the day, this would give us information. We could come together and share our day's experiences. The home health aides still allow Judy to do this in her life. She is able to, because she is able to function as complete a person as is possible. She can have friends come over. She is able to correspond through letters and chat with friends on the telephone, and she is able to reach out beyond the house. She does volunteer work at the Multiple Sclerosis Society 1 day a week, where there are other people there that she can share ideas with. And then it makes it so much more comfortable when I come home at the end of a day's work. I've got my activities to share with her, and she has her own activities that she can share with me. Right? And it just makes for a more complete lifestyle, rather than one person telling the other person, this is what a great life is out there, too bad you can't be a part of it.
Okay,
So,
perfect. Just going ahead and starting talking about that, or do you need me to put a question?
If you want to put a question to it, then
Okay.
I'll have an answer for it, yeah.
Why is home health care an appropriate choice for you?
Well, if it wasn't for the fact that we did have this program right now, I would seriously have to consider a nursing home. And at my age and everything, I just really would not choose to do something like this. Most of the people that I have seen in nursing homes are evidently alienated from their family. Their family don't care about probably a lot of this situation, but I could see Bob is very devoted and very caring about my illness, and even if I had to go to a nursing home because of the no help in the house, I could see that he'd be there at least 6 out of the 7 nights a week, and it wouldn't be any kind of a life for him either. So it's much more important that we try to stay home and to be together, plus with the daughters and everything like that, just to have the family over or friends over to visit us. It's a much more cozy atmosphere to do something like that than to think of being confined to a nursing home. And just, I don't know, I just can't fathom it at this particular point in my life. I know that it's definitely a necessity for so many people, and I feel sorry for the fact, and I wish that many of them do qualify for this Medicare program, because I'd like to see more of them be able to get out and be able to function at home with a family, rather than have to think that the only alternative they have is a nursing home.
Great. Very, very good. Okay. Bob, why don't you talk a little bit about once you had the visiting nurse services, what that enabled you to do last year when you went to visit your daughter in California?
Our oldest daughter lives in San Diego, and she's been out there now for about 2 years. Well, after she had been out there for about a year and she was settled in, she really wanted us to come out and visit her, and we wanted to go out and visit her. We wanted to see what her life was like out there, where she was living, all the concerns any parent would have. Plus, we wanted to see San Diego. But knowing the problems that we have traveling, we knew that it would be a very, very difficult situation. If we were able, we would of course be able to fly out there. The airlines are somewhat accommodating. They can certainly handle people in wheelchairs. My daughter saw to it that we were able to rent a hotel room that was completely accessible, which somewhat to my surprise, but that still left the problem of Judy's personal care. And we also had a wheelchair accessible van. So those items where we were able to take care of. But when it came to Judy's physical care, because there's so much care that's required, I knew that if we did not have someone out there to help out, that all of that work was going to fall on me. Right? Now, when you're on vacation, you tend to keep a somewhat more hectic schedule than usual, and I just knew that this wasn't going to work. That knowing what's involved, how much work it would be, that to do this every day as well as traveling around, that would be just a very long, tiring day. And I didn't think that I'd be up to it for the amount of time that we were going to be out there for. And I was beginning to feel that this is something we were not going to be able to do. It was not going to be very workable. One of us would be totally exhausted and probably, end up with somewhat bitter feelings, because there's just no way I could be